All right, folks, let's talk about something horrifying. No, not the fact that pineapple on pizza exists, but something worse. Type 2 diabetes. It's an absolute pandemic. According to the CDC, over 37 million Americans have diabetes, and 90 to 95% of them have type 2. And get this, almost half of all adults in the US have prediabetes. That's right, flip a coin. Heads, you might already have it. Tails, check again next year. But here's the kicker. What if I told you that type 2 diabetes isn't a life sentence? What if I told you that you don't have to be on meds forever, stabbing your fingers for glucose readings like some kind of tragic human pincushion? Because science says you can actually reverse it. And no, not with some Big Pharma magic pill, but with something way simpler. Keto and intermittent fasting. Let's dive in. All right, let's get nerdy. Let's talk science. And before you click away, thinking this is just another bro science video, let me hit you with some hardcore, peer-reviewed studies. This absolute banger of a study by Hallberg and her team in 2018 followed 262 adults with type 2 diabetes who went full keto. Guess what happened? In 1 year, 60% of them completely reversed their diabetes. No meds, no insulin, just ketosis doing its thing. That's like deleting diabetes from your body, like a bad ex's number. And here's the wild part. 94% of the participants were able to reduce or eliminate insulin altogether. Meanwhile, the control group, aka the eat whatever you want and hope for the best group, just kept getting worse. So why does this work? Simple. Diabetes is fundamentally a disease of insulin resistance. And what's the #1 way to fix that? Lower insulin levels. How do you lower insulin? Stop spiking it with carbs every 2 hours like you're a toddler addicted to apple juice. This study from Verta Health followed patients for 2 years. Not only did they sustain their diabetes reversal, but they also had improved liver function, better heart health, and, get this, higher testosterone levels. That's right. Keto doesn't just fix diabetes, it turns you into an absolute unit. But wait, what if I told you that you could supercharge this process? Intermittent fasting, aka giving your digestive system a break like it's been working overtime in a toxic job. Dr. Jason Fung and his team conducted a study on patients with type 2 diabetes who combined fasting with keto. The result? Complete diabetes reversal in 3 out of 3 participants, meaning, in their small study, it worked 100% of the time. That's a better success rate than most marriages. Now, let's be clear, this isn't medical advice. I'm not your doctor, but you might want to send this video to yours, because if you're still being told that diabetes is a progressive disease and you'll need meds for life, that's like saying you have a broken leg. But don't worry, just take painkillers forever instead of, fixing the leg. Thank you for watching so far. We so far discussed the science and research behind the effectiveness of the keto diet and intermittent fasting on reversing diabetes and insulin resistance. But Stone, you mentioned insulin resistance multiple times. What is it actually and what causes it? All right, buckle up, because we're about to roast one of the biggest metabolic disasters of modern life, insulin resistance. It's like that one ex who just won't leave you alone, except instead of texting you at 2 a.m., it's slowly wrecking your metabolism. So, what is insulin resistance? Picture this. Insulin is like a friendly bouncer at the club that is your bloodstream, ushering glucose into your cells where it can be used for energy. But if you keep pounding back sugary snacks and refined carbs like it's an all-you-can-eat pancake buffet, your cells start tuning insulin out. They're like, nah, we're good. So insulin has to crank up the volume, screaming at your cells to take the glucose, but they just keep ghosting it. And here's where the horror show starts. Excess glucose floating around in your blood, bad news. Your body, in a panic, stores it as fat. Inflammation skyrockets, and eventually, you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, while your doctor gives you that sad nod of disapproval. But the best part, this whole mess is completely reversible. Now let's get into the juicy science. First, let's talk keto. Enter the legendary 2020 study by Bhanpuri et al., published in Diabetes Therapy. They took 349 type 2 diabetics and put them on a low-carb ketogenic diet. The result? A whopping 94% of them reduced or completely eliminated their need for insulin. That's right, less insulin, better glucose control, and in many cases, no more diabetes. Meanwhile, the control group, a.k.a. the people still chowing down on bread and cereal, kept spiraling deeper into metabolic chaos. So why does keto work? Easy. By cutting out carbs, you stop the constant insulin spikes. No more bouncers screaming at your cells. Instead, your body switches to burning fat for fuel. And suddenly, you're metabolically flexible, insulin sensitive, and, bonus, your pants fit better. But wait, there's more. Because we haven't even talked about intermittent fasting yet. Think of fasting like a factory reset for your body. When you stop eating for extended periods, insulin levels plummet, your body dips into stored fat for fuel, and your pancreas gets a well-deserved break. Dr. Walter Longo's research at the University of Southern California found that fasting can literally regenerate pancreatic cells. That's right. Your pancreas, which you may or may not have been abusing with daily frappuccinos, can actually repair itself when given the chance. And if that's not a superpower, I don't know what is. Now, for the ultimate 1-2 punch, keto plus intermittent fasting. A study published in Cell Metabolism in 2019 by Cienfuegos et al. Found that combining a low-carb diet with time-restricted eating led to improved insulin sensitivity, lower inflammation, and better fat metabolism. Translation: your body stops hoarding glucose like a squirrel prepping for winter, and instead runs efficiently like a Tesla on autopilot. Let's be real. Big Pharma isn't exactly thrilled about all this. If you fix your insulin resistance naturally, who's going to buy all those fancy diabetes meds? But here's the truth. Type 2 diabetes isn't a chronic, progressive disease. It's just bad metabolic habits that have gone unchecked. And with the right tools, keto, fasting, and maybe some common sense, you can turn the ship around. So let's recap. Too many carbs, insulin resistance. Keto, insulin sensitivity restored. Fasting, metabolic reset. Are you ready to leverage intermittent fasting and keto diet for reversing insulin resistance or shredding the extra pounds of fat? So here's the takeaway. Keto drops insulin, fixes insulin resistance. Fasting gives your pancreas a vacation. Standard high-carb diet keeps Big Pharma rolling in cash while you stay diabetic. Your move. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and comment, "Diabetes is optional," if you made it this far. And if your doctor still thinks diabetes is irreversible, send them this video, or a steak. Either works.